7. So if you're in 8-7 math, bring your attention up here because we actually have someone who's working at home. Well, they're just not here today. So am I recording yet? Yes, I am. Hello, Jaden. We miss you today.
Hello, Jaden.
Everyone say hello to Jaden.
Hello, Jaden. Hi, Jaden.
Okay.
I actually talked to her last night. She texted me at night.
Cool. Okay, so lesson 37. Lesson 37. Lesson 37.
Lesson 37.
Yes. If I can get to the right page. There we go. So area of a triangle. So area of a triangle, and then also the rectangular area. So this is lesson 37. So area of a rectangle, and then area of a triangle as well. So first off, we have area of a triangle. So we need to have some kind of idea of how to get this. So first off, we have, let's see here, where do I want to start? Where is it? There we go. Okay. So we need to have some kind of equation here. So I'm going to draw my right triangle right here. Here's my right triangle because it has a 90-degree angle. So there is something called right here. This is called your base because it's at the bottom. Then you have this right here. This is your height because it is how tall it is. And then does anyone know what this edge is right? This edge right here. Does anyone know what that's called? We have not learned about it yet, but once I say it, you might be like, oh, I've heard of that before. Yeah, Madeline? Yeah.
No.
You're thinking of a square or a rectangle? I don't think, we haven't gotten to it in pre-algebra yet.
Really?
Yeah, because it's more geometry. Because they're doing intro, this is intro to geometry. They're doing intro to pre-algebra, geometry, a little bit of statistics. You guys are doing just pre-alg. So, yeah. What was that? Not altitude.
Apex.
Not the apex.
Altitude is like the triangle has a base height and or altitude. Height is like.
So yeah, that would be also known as like the height. I don't even think it says in your book, so I'm gonna just put it in here. It is called your, so when you get up into higher level, this is kind of for everyone. This is called your, I don't even think it's in your book. It's called the hypotenuse.
Oh, no.
Has anyone ever heard of a hypotenuse before?
Yeah. I've heard it.
Yeah.
I heard the word
Yeah.
because you just told me it.
Yep. So that would be your hypotenuse. So we're not actually getting into that in this lesson, but what you need to know for right now is you need to know that down here, this is your base. On the side, that's your height. So base, that's your, think of your baseboards, think of your floor. For the height, think of the walls. That's how tall the walls are. And then there's the slanted angle, and that's usually what we're solving for. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to page 252 because we're not gonna do the activity because it involves group work. So let me show you the equations that you're gonna need for this lesson. So area of a triangle. So you have A for area equals 1/2 times, so I'm just gonna put a little times symbol here, times your base times your height. And that's gonna give you your area.
Don't you do the base times height first and then the height?
No, because it's multiplication, you would just say 1/2 times the base times the height. And then if you're given the area, you would have to do it in a little bit different direction. So I would write this down, write down this equation. So area equals 1/2 times your base times your height. So I'm gonna put some arrows here. So you remember this would especially be good for when you're studying for a quiz. When I let you use a note card tomorrow for the quiz, I will allow you to write down any equations that you're gonna need on that note card. So that's area, this is the base, and then there's your height. Area, base, height.
We have to use the
Hypotenuse? Yes, we will. I don't think we do this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this year? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to it this year. Actually, we might make it later in this year because we're going at a pretty good pace this year. So hopefully we do get to it. So this is for the area of a triangle. Another way you could see it, I'm not as big of a fan of writing it this way, but if you like this way, I'm okay with it. So area equals base times height over 2. So this is another way of seeing it written. If you like to do it this way, that's okay. You're going to get the exact same answer, but I'm more of a fan of this way just because it makes more sense to me. So if the other way makes more sense to you, definitely use that way. I'm okay with that. All right. So that's for the area of a triangle. So let's try some examples here. So once I get these, let me look at these real quick. So find the area of this triangle. Ooh, so find the area of this triangle. So we have,
Oh, it's square.
It's not supposed to be a square. It's supposed to be a triangle. It's an ugly, ugly triangle.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Oh man, I just started the whole thing.
Now you can just go. You broke it.
Oh man, now I'm using the highlighter. This is not going well.
He knows his computer too well. What?
There we go. There's my triangle. So I will highlight the triangle we're looking at. So let me show you the triangle we're looking at. So we're looking at this triangle right here. So the reason I put the dotted lines is because of this. So it says our height is 4 centimeters. So that is this height right here, those dotted lines. So the height is 4 centimeters. And then it says our base is 5 centimeters, which is this right here. And then it gives us the hypotenuse, which is 7 centimeters, which we don't actually need. So it's actually just a number in there to trick you. So your area equals 1/2 times base times height. Let's go ahead and solve this. So Bethy, you asked first, so go ahead and do this one. And then let's do example 2 as well. Oasis, you said you wanted to do one, so can you do example 2 up on the other board?
Yeah.
Example 2 says find the area of this triangle. And so go ahead and bring your book with you, because if I start saying it, I'm going to pretty much give out the answers.
What page?
It's on page 253. So we're on page 253 if you guys lost where I was at. So page 253. So why don't you get your math book out, because we're taking notes for math. Yeah, finish number 2. Okay, Bethy, so what's our base? What is the number for our base?
It's 5.
Yep, 5. So our base is going to be 5 centimeters. And why did you say it was 5 centimeters? Bethy?
5 centimeters.
Because it's on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So the bottom number for our, so it's on the baseboards, it's the ground. It is 5 centimeters. Then our height, what do you think our height is here? Let's go. Abby, what's our height? Bingo, 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters is our height, which stands for H. So I'm assuming Bethy is just plugging those in and then solving from there. So we would have A equals 1/2 times 5 times 4.
What page is it?
253. So this is why some people do like the division way. So if I were to write it out like area equals base times height divided by 2, all you would have to do is say 5 times 4 divided by 2. It's going to be 10. So some people like it this way better. I'm okay with you doing it either way. Some problems it's easier to do it with the other equation. Some problems it's easier to do it this way.
We didn't have to take it.
Nope, you don't have to use the 7 at all because it's not part of the equation. So that's why I was saying the 7 is there just to trick you. And Bethy also got 10. Yay! So Oasis, did you find the problem example?
Yeah, I was on the 300s, 200s.
Ah, gotcha. So that is example 1.
That's how you drew a cat.
She drew a cat.
What's wrong with the cat? What lesson is she doing?
Huh? Lesson 37. We're on page 253. Okay, so Oasis is doing example 2. Example 2. Huh? Yeah. So Oasis, which equation are you using?
Multiply it by 2, 1/2. I just know that 3 times 4 is.
Oh, okay, so you did this equation right here. You did base times height over 2.
Yeah,
So what is our base?
our base is 4.
Yep, base is 4. And what's the height?
3.
3. Good. So you said 4 times 3, which you said was 12. Then what's 12 divided by 2, Oasis?
6.
6. So area equals 6. Is it just 6? 6 monkeys, 6 pineapples, 6 Oasis?
Area.
What's the units?
6 triangles.
6 centimeters.
Oh,
6 triangles.
6 centimeters. Yeah, 6 centimeters squared. Thank you, Aries.
You always do it squared.
Because when you say centimeters times centimeters, it's going to be centimeters squared because you have 2 of them. If it was centimeters plus centimeters, it would still be centimeters.
It says,
oh, hit my knee on the desk.
12 centimeters squared times,
Come on.
12 centimeters, 12 centimeters. Would that be,
144.
4 centimeters
It would be to the 4th.
4?
Yes, because you have centimeters squared times centimeters squared. So 2 plus 2 is 4.
So without the squared sign, it's, so just take it without the squared sign and then times it by a squared sign.
Right. So
Yeah.
what you're thinking is centimeters. Another way of writing it is just centimeters to the 1, centimeters to the 1. When you multiply them together, you're just taking centimeters. 1 plus 1 equals centimeters to the 2.
Now what if the other one was 2?
So if one of them was 2, which this isn't very common, but it could happen, you would take 2 plus 1, which would equal centimeters to the 3rd, which you're usually going to get that when you're working with 3D figures, so like a cone or a cube, cylinder. Yep, you'll be working with centimeters cubed in that case. All right, let's try example number 3. Let's try example 3. So rectangular area. So we are working with rectangles. Aren't perfect rectangles. They are not perfect rectangles. So first off, what is our area for a rectangle? Let's do a little review there. What's the area of a rectangle? Courtney, what's the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle. What's the equation? Oasis? Scoot forward. You're not social distancing. Scoot forward.
Length times width times height.
Nope, just length times width. Length times width.
You did cursive. What about
Yep.
the irregular?
So in math, when you are doing length times width, you use a cursive L, because if I were to use just a L like that, that looks like a 1. So that's why in math you use a cursive L instead.
All of them so big.
So with that in mind, so if you did not remember, I would write down this equation. So area, which looks like only a few of us knew this one. Area is A, L is length, and W is width. So make sure you get this equation written down, and I would write it down right next to your other equation. So write this equation down. You are going to need it. You are going to be using this a lot in geometry. And even this year, we're going to use it a lot. So A is area, L is length, W is width. Okay. So knowing that, let's try example number 3. Example number 3. So I have a figure here that looks like an L shape. So I have, you already did an example. So at the top we have 10. On the left side we have 12. The bottom is 23. The side, that little side is 7. So find the area below. The dimensions are centimeters and all of them are right angles. So every corner is a right angle. How would I figure out this? How would I figure this out, Caleb? How would I figure this out?
23, the area of the area.
We're finding the area of this. This is my last warning, by the way, if you're not paying attention, going down to the office.
You can do 12 times 10 and define that little box, and then you can do 13 times 7.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these into 2 boxes. If I were to separate it like this, you could do that.
Or you can do the other.
Or you could separate it in the other way, which would be like this.
90 degrees left.
But either way, you are going to need to do a little addition and a little subtraction because we need to find the missing side right here. I'm going to write X for this missing side. Come on, look out. There we go. So an X, so this side right here. And then I also need to find missing side Y right here. I need to find those missing sides so I can solve this. So once I know all the missing sides, then I am good to go. So Aries, how would I find missing side X? And tell me how you know. Yeah. Yep, for X, that's going to equal 12 minus 7. And how did you know that, Aries? So if we look at the vertical part right here, this is 12. The other vertical part right here is 7. The missing side is going to be the difference of 12 and 7, which is going to be 5. Okay, so X equals 5. What's Y going to equal here, Courtney? Y equals 13?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. How'd you get that? Yep, 23 minus 10, which equals 13. Good. So we found both of our missing sides. So the blue side is 13 because 10 plus 13 equals 23, and then 5 plus 7 equals 12. So that is for those 2 spots. So how would I find the area now that I know that? How would I find the area now that I know those? Come on. William? Explain to me.
Okay, so what I would do is I would go to the left, make a line crossing through the 12.
So right there?
Right there.
Okay.
And then since we're minusing that 12, we have 12 yards on it, 5.
So you're looking at the 10.
5,
Yep.
50. And then we do the 13 times. Yeah.
Yep,
so
13 times 7.
Or 20.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I was getting a little excited there. 23 times 7 because that's the full length.
161 plus 50.
Yep, 161.
41.
So 50, then once you have those 161 plus 50, that's 211. So 211, and this one does not have any units, so it'd just be 211, okay?
There's still but squared.
No, because there's no units in there. If you put it 211 squared, that's gonna be a massive number because you're squaring 211. Okay. So let's try one more quick example with example 4. Example 4, I'm going to have 2 of you do it up on the board. 2 of you can do it up on the board. Who would like to do this one? Courtney, you can do it on one board. William, go do it on the other board. I'm going to write it up on the board right here. You can just erase all that.
Don't erase the cat.
Erase the cat.
No!
Bye-bye, cat.
We have to wipe off his head first. What? No!
Get rid of the cat, or else I'll find different people who can do the example. Bethy, chill.
Mr. Goodman?
Yeah.
One question. Why did the mushrooms fall slower than
I threw them away because it didn't actually turn out.
It's right there.
What's that?
Oh, maybe I didn't throw them away. Okay, so William, you can do it on the board by Jaden's cat.
Is that his, or do you want me to do it?
So you're doing the same problem. We're gonna see who gets it right, or both of you get it right. So go ahead and try that one out.
Mr. Goodman, do you mean that?
Huh?
That wouldn't make any sense though.
Yeah, you got it.
I put 14 over here because that one's shorter and
Oh, I just drew it bad.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just got it.
Yeah.
Any units?
It does not have units. This one does not have units either. Oh, yeah, it's in meters. This one's in meters.
Okay.
Yep,
So
this one's
M
meters.
Squared?
Yep, M squared.
What is that?
Mr. Boomer drew it weird. So I switched the numbers.
You can't switch the numbers. It's going to give you a wrong answer.
14 is 5.
Yep, 14 at the top.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's just not to square. It's totally
He
fine.
drew it really bad. So
Yep.
it's a lot bigger.
Sure. Instead of doing it timesing, why don't I do it adding ways?
You could.
170, do 170, add them all together.
Yep,
Whole word.
it would. Yeah. So the missing angle up here would be 6 meters, which is also that one right there. And then the missing one over here is going to be 5 centimeters, which is that guy right there. Okay, that's 14 plus 6. 14 plus 6, that equals 20. 14 plus 6 is 20. And 5 plus 5 is going to equal 10. Actually, I should have done a different color. So those two match, those two match. 5 and 5, that matches with 10. And from there, we would solve it out.
I got
170, that sounds right. Yep. So 14 times 5, what'd you guys get for that? 70, good. So that's for this square right here. And then for the bottom one, you did 20 times 5, which is going to be what? 100. Then you add those together, 100 plus 70. So 100 plus 70 equals 170 meters squared. Meters squared. Yep, it'd be Mondo, but we're only squaring just the meters. Okay, so that's example 4. That is your guys' lesson. So continue working on your guys' assignment. So you guys have A through G, then 1 through 29 odd. And remember, it's due on Thursday, due on Thursday. Make sure you get that written down on your homework. All right, pre-algebra, you guys are up.
Isn't this one last month, right?
Huh? This is the last one of the week.
Okay.